So in here, I have elderberries, there's cinnamon, and star anise, just the tiniest bit of horseradish. This is my grandmother's recipe after all. And a bit of black pepper. Now you would never know that. Children can drink this and never even know it's there. But it just helps to get the heat aspects of our immune system boosted, according to my grandmother. But elderberry soups and concoctions, oh yes, and cardamom. I did forget to mention, they're in here somewhere. There's a cardamom pod right there, if you can see that or not. But elderberry is just one of the best natural concoctions for using during illness, such as colds and the flu. But many believe that it actually can help to avoid those kind of issues. And elderberry itself is full of constituents, vitamins, minerals that absolutely are proven to help. And I'm going to give you scientific evidence. I'm going to post some information here, as I always try to do, in the description with links that you can read up on the benefits of elderberry. So what I'm going to do is take this out. This has been here for about 28 hours. And I'm going to be taking this and straining it before we start turning it into a syrup. Right now, we have this wonderful, dark, beautiful, deep burgundy red color, which is just fantastic. It smells wonderful. And when we add our honey and our other goodness to it, it's going to be even better. So I'm going to get this strained and then we'll move forward. All right, so now I'm going to sift our berries. But because this has been in a water bath, I first want to dry this off. We never want the water to drip into our lovely mixture we've worked on. So I'll get this out of the way here. Now, because I was using freshly dried elderberries, this is very, very, very juicy. The berries, the skin on them is very soft, so I just want to take care to strain this 2 or 3 times. And I've already picked out most of the harder spices, cinnamon, the star anise. I apologize, I just blanked out there. Oop. So I'm just giving these a light pressing, and then I will get a little more serious about it. Now you could alternately put this like in one of the nut bags, which you've seen me use before in other preparations. But with this, I don't mind leaving it a bit wet, because this is going to go out to my chickens. They will love this. So we'll let this drip a bit longer here, then we'll get on to the next step and I'll get the rest of these strained. So I have now triple filtered our elderberry solution here, and it smells divine. I love the smell of elderberry. Here I have 12 cups of local Texas honey right from the farm. I am very proud of this. It's it's as fresh as you can get it right out of the hive. And I probably should have used a larger bowl, but I'm going to be moving this or bottling this soon after anyway, so it should be fine. I just don't want to waste any of this wonderful honey. Honey is expensive, as you well know, if you've had to buy it. Most certainly, a lot of local honeys you can get some good bargains on, and because I buy directly from the apiary, I do get a better deal. I'm not going to pretend that I don't, but I know that honey is very, very expensive. In another video, which I will try to get put up in the next day or two, I show a huge block of beeswax that I got from this very farm and that I'm going to be making some winter candles with. Well, I've already done it, you just haven't seen the film yet. And again, it's just a matter of finding the time to get the videos edited and put in, or edited and put online. And so now it's just a matter of blending our elderberry into our honey. And this is one way to do it, but we're going to speed this up a little. Now, like I said, this bowl, we've got it filled up almost to the top. And let me see my whisk. There we go. So I'm just going to gently begin whisking the honey in. We're creating our syrup by just blending the honey with the elderberry juice. And of course this juice has so many wonderful things in it. There is lovely cinnamon, there is the star anise and fresh ginger root, which all of these ingredients are designed to help heal and hopefully help prevent illness, and most certainly to try to slow the effects of any illness that you may already have in regard to only the proven benefits. Again, that I will, I'm going to list some of these on the screen. That way I'm not having to remember things while I need to pay attention to what I'm doing right now. But most certainly, I want to make sure that you have all the science to back this up so that you can feel good about giving this to your family. So I'm going to continue getting this blended up, and then we're going to move toward getting this bottled. One of my favorite things to do so that I can share it with you all. So you may wonder why this is not a more involved video. First of all, it's very simple. There are a lot of videos on YouTube already. I researched before I did this, even though I've been drinking elderberry syrup for about, almost 60 years. My mother gave it to me from the time I was about a year old beyond. Anyway, where I'm going with this is that I feel kind of silly doing a video on something that is so well known, that is so well loved, and that so many have already done wonderful videos on. And the only reason why I'm doing this video on it is to dispel some of the mystery. There is nothing complicated about this. There is nothing special. Oh, there's something special about what's inside it, but I just mean in regard to making it, it is one of the easiest things in the world. I just don't know of too many things that you can make at home as a medicine that you can do yourself so easily. Can you make this with dried elderberries that you buy? Yes, you can. But I want you to keep something in mind, the difference between using fresh elderberries and using dried. The moisture content is going to vary greatly, of course. That is that's the whole purpose of the word dried. There is not liquid inside it, right? It's dried out. So in your recipes, you may have to make some adjustments because, well, when you're using fresh elderberries and you're mixing it with the water that you're heating it in and such, the elderberry has so much moisture in it, so it's not going to absorb the moisture from the water. It's all going to meld together. When using dried ones, it's simply going to absorb the water that's outside. So that's going to have an impact on the thickness of your syrup and several different aspects. So just something to take into consideration. I love it. I love the taste of it. I think it's one of the best things I think on pancakes or waffles is elderberry syrup. I think it's delicious. And it's healthful. You know, I mean, I'm not saying that I love maple syrup. It's one of my favorites. You can use maple syrup in your elderberry if you choose. You don't have to use honey. The advantage of using honey is that honey itself is an antibacterial. And as such, it helps to fend off any mold or other nasties that might get in your tincture. The more honey that you use in your, I said tincture, I meant in your syrup. The more honey that you use, the higher percentage of honey that you use, the longer your elderberry syrup will last. This, the way I'm making it, the percentage of honey that I've added to this, I can keep this in the refrigerator for up to 6 months. I've never experienced any problems at all, as long as it's kept refrigerated in an airtight container, which is why these swing top bottles are so wonderful. These are not cheap. That's part of the price that you will see reflected in the price of this syrup that I sell. Is the actual bottle is part of that price. Of course, that's always the case with any packaging. Somebody has to pay for the packaging. And if it is the manufacturer, who the person making that, then they have to cut costs somewhere else, maybe in the product. And I don't ever want to do that. So I do add in the price of the bottle with the price of the elderberry. It's just the way it has to be, but I believe it is a superior way to bottle it. As I stated, it will keep it fresher longer, keeps out any outside smells from the refrigerator, anything like that. It keeps it airtight. So something to consider. If you're bottling it yourself, you can use a tight-fitting jar. You don't have to use this. I'm just for shipping purposes and so that you don't have to rebottle this when you get it home. This is the way I ship it. Now, I'm also going to sell in the future refills so that you don't have to pay the expense of buying this bottle. You can get a refill of it just in a plain bottle, a lot less expensive. Because once you've got the bottle, well, you've got the bottle. But that's down the line a bit. I've sold this locally for 25 years. I've never put this in my store. I have my elderberry tincture in the shop, one of my better sellers, especially this time of the year. I've restocked it 7 times in the past year. A lot of people do really like the tincture. Now you may wonder, well, what is the difference between elderberry tincture? Well, the tincture is elderberries that have been decocted in alcohol. And you get a more concentrated dosage. You don't need as much of the tincture, but not everybody wants alcohol. And some people want something they can give to their children. This has no alcohol in it. Only natural ingredients that are safe and healthy for your family. So that's pretty much it. Of course, I'm going to continue on bottling these, but I want to ask you all, I have a question for you that I'd like you very much to answer in the comments below, please. I'd like very much to hear from you because I posted this question in my previous video and a few people did answer. But where you live, are you taking care of yourself? Is care available? Are you able to get flu shots? Because you may wonder, maybe you're young and very healthy and you don't feel the need to get it, and I understand that. I'm almost 60 years old and I thought I was too young. You know, the years pass so quickly. And so it's easy to, for me, sometimes to forget my own age. And this came up very recently when someone asked me if I had had the pneumonia shot, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what do you think? I'm Methuselah? And the recommended age for that is 65, which I'm a few years away from, so I'm not quite there yet. But nonetheless, are you making sure that you're taking care of yourself? Are you getting the shots that you think you might need? Because especially for those of us that have extra weight, or those of us that may be African American or Latino in heritage, we are more susceptible to the negative effects of COVID. So anything like the flu, if you were to get the flu or something, that weakens your immune system, and that's why I'm making this, to help boost the immune system, hopefully. And you don't want to weaken your immune system and then get something like COVID. It makes you more susceptible to getting COVID and makes the possible effects of it much more dangerous. So, yeah, I've got a few drips here. No worries, those will wipe off. I do make sure the containers these were sterilized. I'm wearing a mask now. I'm obviously wearing gloves. I'm wearing protection here. I'm keeping these very clean inside, and then after they're bottled, once they're sealed, I will then re-sterilize the outside of the bottle as well. I take no precautions with safety. It's the responsibility of all of us as makers to do our very best to keep our customers safe. Can mistakes happen? They can. I know of someone who made something recently. I only know this because I saw it on a comment on their Etsy store, that someone had received a lotion that had a hair in it, and they were very upset, which I understand. You know, can an accident happen? Of course it can. We don't want that to happen. You know, it's horrifying to think about something like that happening to one of our customers. So hair nets, if you have longer hair, you know what frizzy hair I have. And I've never showed myself on camera like this because, well, I'm just not very attractive with a hairnet on. But anytime I'm working on bottled things, I'm wearing, like the old cafeteria ladies used to wear, I'm wearing one. Because I have so much hair, I don't want anybody to open any product or, use something and find one of my old gray hairs in it. That would not be good. Anyway, the point I'm simply trying to make here is to make sure that we're just taking all the precautions we can to keep our customers safe. Because we're living in a time when the world's a little scary, and there are things out there that are harmful. Sorry, I knocked something over, but nothing important. But anyway, this is it. It's great stuff. It smells wonderful, and it tastes delicious. I am a big fan of this stuff, and I think that you will love it. It tastes great. Like I said, it's good even on pancakes. Drink it straight. It's very sweet, of course, the honey. There are a lot of different ways you can make it. You can mix it with water. You can mix it with juices. It is good so many different ways. And in an upcoming video, I'll be turning this into cough lozenges as well. So stick around. Yeah, well, don't stick around, but subscribe if you haven't already. I'd really love to have you join the channel. If you have already done so, thank you so very much. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a beautiful day, everyone. Goodbye.